It's lager time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories, and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?
Greetings, bonjour, what's happening? Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. Lager Time is my podcast where I share bits of writing that I've been working on, be they poems, thoughts, stories, and sometimes music. Today will be a chapter or the first chapter of a story. But anyway, before all of that, hope everything is well out there in the world. Well, there's a lot going on with the world right now, as I'm sure, but I hope if you're listening, everything is as good as it can be for yourselves. Here in Lagerland, Lager HQ, at the bottom of the garden in southeast London, it's been all right. The weather's been lovely this week. It's felt a bit like summer. A couple of times I got the pins out, got a pair of shorts on, walked the dogs. It's been good. It's been glorious. And I don't mind sort of miserable, wet weather, but it was a bit much really, wasn't it? First few months of this year. But this kind of weather I like. This is nice. It's not too hot. But here we are, Lager HQ. It's been a good week. This week I finished off working with Fourth Monkey, so myself and Kate Donachie, great actor and performer, beatboxer, singer, all-rounder. I've been running a term with the first year acting students there where we show them the Beats and Elements methods. Beats and Elements is the hip-hop theatre company that I set up with Comrade Murray many years ago now. They're all really Comrade's methods that he's developed with Beatbox Academy over the years, all of which you can see decoded and written down in the Beats and Elements hip-hop theatre book, which you can buy from Matthew in Drama. But yeah, it's been good. So we've been working with them for quite a few months, and they had their showcases. So they each group worked on a piece inspired by Macbeth, and then they did their end of term sharings on Wednesday, and a few of the staff come, which was great, and they actually did really well. One of the groups was very much depleted in numbers, but they pulled it together on the day, so it was great. But yeah, aside for that, been doing a lot more writing and music for the What We Do When We Can't Dance 3 months rep show. So we're almost coming into the last part of that story now, and that's going quite well. And then last night there was a bit of lager action. I met up with a couple of very good mates of mine. Large Up Phil and Mike was around London Bridge Way, just having a couple of beers, nothing too hectic. And then here I am today, a little bit tired. It's been a long week. Feels like it has anyway, but yeah, a couple of beers last night. We was in, what do you call it? Is it the Bermondsey Beer Keller? It's in London Bridge. I went there once before after Millwall once. It's like massive. It's like these vaults. And it's kind of near underneath London Bridge Station, and you go in and it serves like the big German steins and got loads of little vaulty rooms with karaoke and arcade games and stuff. It was all right. It's a bit noisy in there. I just wanted to sit down and have a chinwag with my mates. It was a bit too noisy for me, but it was a Thursday evening, lots of post-work groups and stuff like that in there. I imagine on the weekend it's lots of parties and hens and stag do's or whatever. So I suppose it has its place, but we only stayed in there for a couple, and then we slipped out into the Mug House, which is just over the way. Lovely little boozer. Haven't gone in there for years. But it was nice, just sitting down with my mates and having a good chat, which is what I like doing. Which is actually why this podcast is called Lager Time. It goes back to when I used to live in Morden about 10 years ago. And, well, more than that now. I lived with my mate Dean, and my brother Nat lived down the road. And there's this big Irish pub there called Ganley's, which was very convenient, and it was open late on the weekend, and sometimes I could fill my brother up at like 9:30 in the evening, and we could just go in there for a couple of beers and let the hair down a bit. To me, that was always the idea with lager time, as being able to come in and let off a bit of creative steam. I've always had loads of stuff that I've worked on and written that's never gone anywhere, or just sits in my computer not really knowing what to do with, which is a nice way to lean into this next story, which has been sitting on my computer for probably coming on 2 years now. I'm going to do the first chapter of a story called Way of the Kip. So it's another one involving this character, Reece, again. So I've written a lot of stuff in this character. I did one a couple of weeks ago, but I've gone back to the drawing board on that one. I'm not sure about it. But this one, it's not finished, but I quite like it. I was going back over it earlier today. But this is set a little bit later. Reece has moved from the fictional Newtown he grew up in into London. So he's probably in his mid to late 20s here, working in an office job. And yeah, it's about his struggle for sleep. Way of the Kip. So I'll read through that now, and then, if this goes well, I'll do the next couple of chapters over the next few weeks, and we'll crack on there. In terms of things I've been mentioning a lot on this podcast this year is my music and the little book I want to put out. No major advances. It's been so busy. I've not had a lot of time to do much on the music front. I did record another verse, so I've got to mix and record 2 more tracks, and then it's out. I know it's slow progress, but I get little time really to come down in here and do my own stuff. I mainly have to do when I'm in here in Lager HQ, down at the bottom of the garden in South East London. I have to do my own stuff, like stuff that I'm being paid to do, basically. So it's I find it difficult to get the time to do it. Anyway, I'm waffling too much. And now the dehumidifier has started. But anyway, we'll crack on. So this is chapter 1, Way of the Kip, a Newtown story. Chapter 1 is called The Struggle Session. Here we go. Despite having a bad night's sleep again, I had a bit of a touch, mate. Rolled into work that Wednesday morning, only for Priya to tell me we're doing some training in the glass menagerie. It would take us up till lunchtime. Nice. Few hours away from the desk and the phone, with a few pastries thrown in as a Brucey bonus. Bugsy the cinnamon bun. Some facilitator called Monique from this firm called Essential Skills was leading the session. They were always the same. Nice enough, good teeth, well dressed with a bit of low-level, inoffensive banter. Branded PowerPoint, bit of an icebreaker game to get us giggling, then slowly chip away at any good feeling generated in that whimsical exercise with the session content. Slow roasted with reams of dry information the company required us to absorb that was about as likely to stick around in my brain as those takeaway flyers that get junk posted through the letterbox. Don't they know? I've got my grease spots, lads. I don't like cheating on kebab brothers. They do a lovely meat and chips, are open late and don't judge when I've been in there, allegedly 3 nights on the spin. This session was all about biases. Apparently we all have them inside of us, like that tapeworm Stuart Simons got after he came back from mincing round Thailand one summer. Took him weeks to flush it out. Whilst Monique was giving the intro spiel, first click on the PowerPoint, my mind immediately drifted to a time I was accused of being biased. I'd reluctantly took up a flag to be a linesman in one of Gary's Sunday league games. Some point in the second half, I waved the flag for a throw-in against the team Gary was playing. I had to. He was giving me a lift home that day. It was the only reason I was there. The ball was very much still in play. Gary's team went on to win. Of course they did. I was probably called all the variations on the word bias, followed by a particular C word, over and over. 2 of them squared up to me at the final whistle. Got my lift home, though. I felt justified in my bias. Put that in your presentation. If only I was in charge of the PowerPoint, it would have all the sound effects and animations like every PowerPoint should. We were only 10 minutes in, and my focus had already gone walkies. I could normally hold out for a solid half an hour. Must have been the lack of kip the night before. We had to go around and introduce ourselves, say how we were feeling and one thing we wanted to achieve in the session. Usual fare. Pete spouted out some balls about looking to be challenged on his views. I wonder if he was referring to the Friday before, when he was bragging about telling his missus she needed to lose weight. Priya said she was really intrigued. Nice. We hadn't even got to boring Keith yet, and I'd reached the boredom threshold. Not even being formally required to focus on Diane for a few moments while she spoke, telling everyone she was feeling great, was enough to keep my interest. And she looked good today. She always looked good. It got to my bit. I sat up slightly, cleared my throat. The floor was mine. My name's Reece, and I'm feeling tired today. Oh, and I'd like to achieve some knowledge about biases and how to flush them out like tapeworms or something. Then slumped back down again. Diane winced. Someone rolled their eyes, not sure who, just caught them in my peripheral. You're always feeling tired, Reece. It's all that hard work I do, Priya, I said. Is that what you call it? Priya replies. Boring Keith sniggered. Calm yourself, Keith. You stay quiet and boring, like that inanimate fax machine that once in a blue moon gets used. Okay, thanks, Reece. Let's keep going. So, who's next then? Good facilitating from Monique there. Sensed that little bit of tension, like banter, but with a hint of ag, like lager that has a bit of tequila in it. Priya was my supervisor, ignored me most of the time, so I don't know what that comment was about. Her comment annoyed me. I really was feeling tired. But come to think of it, I was always feeling tired. Maybe Priya was right. I was working too hard. As the rest of the group made their melty intros, my mind kept hopping back to Priya's comment. I did say I was tired a lot. Maybe I shouldn't say it so much, as it just got used against me. This feeling of being knackered went with me everywhere. I wasn't just saying it to be saying it, I was saying it because I was tired most of the time. Maybe I had nothing else to say. Am I that dull? Don't suppose anyone wants to hear about me rubbing one out last night around 1:30 a.m. Only did it because guess what? I was tired and couldn't flipping sleep again. I read somewhere once that when a geezer ejaculates, it releases sleep hormones. Well, it worked. Eventually, slept, woke up, still felt tired though. What's the point of sleep? Boring Keith was making his introduction. Apparently, he was feeling okay. I don't think he ever feels anything else. Keith's emotional spectrum had about as much range as my nan's hamstrings. At least he was consistent. This tiredness thing, though, it weren't really a severe tiredness like MS or anything. It's just, I don't know. I couldn't remember the last time I had a decent kip. Every night seems to take me hours to drift off to sleep unless I've been boozing or eating heavy food, or I'm doing training in a glass-walled meeting room. The amount of times I've fought dozing off at my desk, like my eyelids have industrial shutters on them with a wonky latch and I'm straining to hold them up with everything I've got. If I could just have a decent, solid kip, I reckon I'd be alright. It would reset me, like cleaning your trainers. You look and feel good after that. But how though? How do you get that sort of kip? Cue Bianca from payroll. Oh, hi guys, morning. I'm feeling very blessed today, thank you. I had a lovely sleep last night and woke up feeling all like, just like, flowery and vibrant and just, really positive and refreshed. Polite round of applause for Bianca and a few high-pitched noises of approval from the other females. Even boring Keith clapped. Do one, Bianca. with your decent sleep and your healthy yogurts for lunch? What was Bianca doing that I wasn't? It got me thinking though, what was I doing? And what could I be doing? Once the introductions were made and the session finally got going, it was all I could think about. And that is chapter 1. I was just getting into that. Okay, so leaving on that bombshell of that absolute cliffhanger, tune in next week. Either way, if you like this kind of thing, tell a friend or something like that, or subscribe wherever you're listening from. It all helps. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Peas and taters. Whoa.
It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree.